Good evening. Today is Tuesday, March 4th, and I will be reviewing the trades that were, the alerts that were given out through Stockwits Academy today. And I'll be reviewing them on the 5-minute chart, starting in chronological order of when they were given out. So here's the list on the screen here of all the alerts that were given. Here's my 5-minute chart. And I also chart all the EMAs, like the moving averages, MACD and RSI on here, and here's volume down here, and here's my legend here, just so that you're aware of which color represents which moving average. Okay, so we'll start right now. The first alert that was given out was Meta at 7:33. So at 7:33, which would have been right around this candle, we had a put called out at 7:33. So I won't bother talking about the strike price or anything because that's irrelevant. We just want to see if the chart went up or down. So at 7:33, we've got a put called out. So if you had looked at this chart at that time and you looked at the 5-minute time frame, you would see that all of the moving averages are obviously in a downtrend. MACD is in a downtrend as well. So this would have been a good entry point here to get on this trade on a put, and you could have caught it a nice little downside on that trade. This dark pink line represents the 60-minute opening range orb. We call it opening range breakout, but the opening range. So I've tagged it there, charted it here, and you can see that price kept bouncing off of it. And this is where we did get a reversal. So if you had been watching this chart, you could have gotten in on a reversal here and then rode the chart up to the upside and caught a really nice trade on that today. So this was a good example of catching a trade both ways. You caught the put side and the call side and got a nice trade both ways, especially the call if you held through that, and you could see that price rode the 9 EMA, which is this dark green line here. So if you just watched 9 EMA, you could see that we did get a bit of a close under there, but it still held the 20 SMA. So you could have held that for a nice trade on the day. So that was Meta. Next we had TSM. TSM was given at 7:34. So we'll look at that time range. 7:34, and it was a call. So let's look here. This is the candle, 7:35. So right around here, a call was given out. So if you had looked at this chart at this time, you would see that, MACD was in an upswing, so was your moving averages, but price was not across VWAP, which is this purple line. So usually if you're going to enter a call, you want to wait till price is above VWAP. In this case, it wasn't. It was staying right on VWAP, and then, of course, it broke down below VWAP. So at that time when the trade was called out at 7:34 was not a good entry point. If you'd have waited for the pullback, you'd see it pulled back to the 20 SMA, and this would have been a good place to get in. Again, of course, it rejected off VWAP, back down to the 50 SMA, and then that's where you could have rode it all the way up, which would have been a nice trade on TSM today. And also this light blue line here is the pre-market high, and light pink is the opening range breakout again. So those were causing some resistance there, but once it got over those, it was kind of clear sailing. So that was TSM. Next we had SMCI, and that call was given at 7:35. So let's look at the chart. 7:35 for SMCI. So at 7:35, we could look right around here. So looking at this chart at this time would have been a little bit risky. Price was staying right around VWAP, which is the purple line, and your moving averages were in a downtrend. MACD was in an uptrend. So this would have been your entry point here on this chart. And of course, you could have caught a really nice upside to that chart the entire day. So that was SMCI, and that was called out at 7:35. So again, if you would have got in here, you would have got a nice trade out of that today. Next we had Tesla. That was a call given at 7:36. So Tesla at 7:36, let's just see, that would have been right on this candle here. So if you looked at this chart on the 5-minute at 7:36, you would see that all of your moving averages are in a downtrend. This red line here represents yesterday's low, price drop below yesterday's low. So this would not be a good entry point for a call, but if you were looking at it and seeing all these moving averages going down, including MACD, this would have actually been a good entry point for a put. So you could have caught some downside to this trade when it was called out, and then of course it kept rejecting off the 60-minute opening range, which was this dark pink line, and this is where you caught a reversal, and you could have then caught a nice upside to this trade today. So again, this is a trade where you could have caught a downside and an upside. That was called out at 7:36. And then of course, if you were still in it and watching it, you could have caught a downside here too. But this call here would have been your good where you would have wanted to get in on a call. This is a good trade today on Tesla. Next, we had Microsoft, again called out at 7:36. So we'll bring up Microsoft at 7:36. So let's just look at, that's probably right around here. Let's see, that was a call given out at 7:36. So this is similar to Tesla, where right away everything, all your moving averages were in a downtrend. MACD was in a downtrend. You could have got in a put here and caught some downside, and then of course here's where it reversed. This is pre-market low, this dark blue line. It reversed here, and then you could have caught an upside, although you got a lot of chop through here. Obviously your ideal entry would have been more so along here, but you could see once it did cross VWAP, which is the purple line, it did hold VWAP, so it kept bouncing off of it, and then of course it went up and continued up, so you could have caught a nice upside on that trade today. That was Microsoft. Next we had ASTS. That was a call, and it was called out at 7:40. So we'll look at the chart on the 5-minute at 7:40, which would have been right around here. So looking at this chart at that time, this is the 7:40 candle, which is a red candle. Price was not clearing VWAP, even though everything was kind of in an uptrend. MACD, your moving averages, price had not cleared VWAP. On the next candle, it was still touching VWAP, but also price went way outside the Bollinger Bands, and when that happens, you know there's going to be a pullback. So this would have been a chart where you would have wanted to wait for the pullback, wait till you had a clear indication that it was crossing VWAP, and so you would have had a nice candle close above VWAP, which a green candle close, which never really happened. You had one there, but it wasn't a strong candle. So it wasn't until you got into here, this is where you had a nice strong green candle close above VWAP, and this is where you could have caught a nice upside to this trade and made some money off it. So that was ASTS, called out at 7:40, and that was a good call. Next we had AMD. AMD was a put, so at 7:42. So let's just have a look. 7:42, a put. Again, if you'd have looked at this chart at this time, you would have seen all your moving averages in a downtrend. MACD was kind of all over the place. If you would have wanted to get in there, you could have and caught some downtrend, but obviously the trade here would have been a call, and right when it crossed VWAP here, which is the purple line, and then you would have caught a really nice upside to that trade today. So that was AMD. Next we had INTC. INTC was called out at 7:42. So let's look at 7:42, which would have been, and that was a put. Okay, so 7:42, which would have been right around here. A put was called out. If you looked at the chart, you would have seen this is a good entry point. All your moving averages were in a downtrend as well as MACD. This would have been a perfect entry point. If you wanted to wait till it fell below VWAP, which is right here, it's all around this area anyways, and you would have caught a nice downside to that trade. And again, you could have caught some upside here too as well. But the biggest play of this trade was this put called out. And if you'd have got in right when it was called out at 742, you'd have got a nice trade out of that. Next we had, next was GCT, but it's a March 21st expiry, so we won't go over that one, which is kind of a swing. Next we had coin. Coin was given at 748, so we'll bring up coin. And it was a call. So at 748, let's just look at it here, just right around here. A call was alerted, 748. And again, you can see that everything's in the downtrend. So this would not be a good entry point at this point for a call. You would have wanted to wait for it to bottom out, which it did here. And if you'd have got in around here, or even if you wanted waited till it crossed over VWAP, which is the purple line here, you usually wait for a candle confirmation over VWAP, which is here, and then you would have caught a nice upside to this trade today on the call side. So that was a good call out. You just had to be patient with it. Next we had ARM at 748. So we'll look at ARM, and that was a call at 748. Okay, so let's look here. So again, these are all in the downtrend, reversal here, and then a nice uptrend. So that would have been a good call out today for ARM. You would have got a really nice upside through the entire day on that call out or that alert. So that would have been a nice trade on ARM. Next we had VKTX, which is a swing. We'll review that one, then we'll do MRVL. So MRVL was a call and it was alerted at 9:43. So let's look at 9:43, which is would have been right around here. So this would have been a perfect entry point when this was called out at 9:43, because as you can see, price is above VWAP. Your moving averages are going to the upside. MACD is an upside, and these moving averages are starting to curve up. So would have been a good entry point here, and of course you would have had an awesome trade today on MRVL, MRVL. Next we had EXPE. EXPE was called out at 9:47, and it was a call. So let's see, at 9:47, which is right around here, it was called out. So if you looked at this chart, it was a little risky because price is above VWAP, but your moving averages are kind of all over the place. Some are up, some are down. You've just come off this big dip. The Bollinger Bands kind of just done a weird bend here. So this was a little more risky to get into. There was no clear-cut pattern that it was going to continue up. But at this point, the market was trending up. So if you would have gotten in at 9:47, which is right around here, or if you waited till the pullback here and then got in, this would have been a nice trade as well today. So that was a good call out on EXPE. Next we had SMR. SMR was called out at 10:17, and it was a call. So let's look at SMR at 10:17, which would have been right around here. If you look at this chart, you'd see that everything's in an uptrend. Your moving averages, your MACD is in an uptrend, and price is over VWAP. So this was an awesome call out, an awesome trade, an awesome alert. Hope you all got in on that one. So that was SMR. Next we had BITX. BITX is not on my list here. Let me just put it in. BITX. Oops. Okay, so BITX was called out at 10:18. So that's right around here. So this again was a nice entry point on this trade because price is above VWAP. You've got MACD going up, moving average is in an uptrend, you have these, but they're not in a steep downtrend. They're more trying to curl up. So this would have been less risky to get in. And if you'd have got in on that point, of course, you'd have caught a nice upside to that trade. So that was BITX. Next we have MSTR. MSTR was called out at 10:22 and it was a call. So let's look at MSTR. 10:22 was a call. This again was a great trade, great alert. Price was above VWAP. You're just getting above your last moving average here. And then of course it rode up. You could have rode the 9 EMA all the way up to that point on this call out today, on this alert. So that was a great alert today, MSTR. Next we had Amazon, and that was called out at 10:26. So let's look at that trade. 10:26, right around here. It's just trying to cross over, get over yesterday's low, which is this red line here. And of course it did here. So this would have been a good trade to get into. Price was above VWAP. VWAP is the purple line. Moving averages, some are going up, but you've got these, but they're not a steep decline. So it would have been less risky to get in. If you got in there, you could have rode the 9 EMA again on this trade as well. So that was a nice trade. Great alert on that one. Next we had NBIS. NBIS was called out at 10:27. So if we look at this chart, these are all the same. 10:27, we're way above VWAP. Moving averages are going up. The ones that are coming down aren't at a deep decline, deep slant down. They're trying to curl up and go across. So this would have been a good entry point, and again, rode that 9 EMA up all the way today. So that was a great alert as well. Next we had RIVN, RIVN. RIVN was called out at 10:40. 10:40 was right around here. You can look at, see prices above the 9 EMA. We're way above VWAP. Again, everything's in an uptrend. The ones that are coming down, moving averages that are in a downtrend are in a not a steep decline, but they're trying to curl up. So this would have been a good entry point, and you followed the 9 EMA up, and you would have got a nice trade on that one as well. These are some great alerts given out today. Next we had AVGO. That one was given out, alerted at 11:55. So let's look at 11:55, and it was a call March 7th. Yep, so let's just have a look here. 11:55 would have been right around here. So this one was later on in the day. Obviously we missed a lot of upside here, but we still could have got a decent upside to that trade today as well. Again, moving averages, MACD was still on the upside, on the incline. You were losing some steam here because you can see the strength it's not as strong anymore, the MACD. But if you got in here, you could have got some upside to this trade as well. So that was another good alert. Next we had MU. Oh, that's a swing. Then we had MSTR, which we already reviewed. That was a second call out. We had PANW. Let's look at PANW. This is our last alert for a day trade. Alert was given at 1:19, which was really late in the day, right around here. This one reversed right away. So if you were looking at that trade because it was so late in the day, you've already missed most of the upside. It would have been really high risk to try and get in on this late in the day. And of course, you can see that it reversed there. So that would not have been a good entry point. So that's it for today. Those were some great alerts. I hope everybody made some money today. There was, definitely a lot of alerts given that were on the uptrend, and they were easy trades today. So hope you all made some money today, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.